saying that we had to get in touch with the patrol officer who was on the ground to be able to establish what was the situation.
And who was the poultry officer who was
Assistant Superintendent Vincent Marie.
Assistant Superintendent Vincent Marie.
And did you get the occasion to meet with Mr. Marie at any point
Oui,
in time?
après ça, oui, je suis pour joindre.
Yes, afterwards
It's
we got
evening.
the chance to.
Okay.
What time was it?
Les canons, tu joins ni?
Yes.
Pas pour m'aziner, seulement un peu le temps après qu'il soit arrivé. Mon quoi, ça les autres SCP aussi, tu finis entrer à l'état. L'état nous tient ça pour joindre avec M. Marie. Et mon quoi qui ça l'état aussi, et dans le colonel on a pas encore arrivé.
I don't recall, but
'Cause-
sometime after, I think the two SCP had already entered at that time, and the lieutenant colonel also.
No, he was not
No,
there.
Bali Kunju.
Il n'est pas encore arrivé.
He had not yet arrived at that time.
And so he reported back to you, and what did he report back to you?
Bandimoun, ASP Marie, hein? Bandimoun, pas écouter, écoute l'autre comme si, pour les autres retourner de Casso, pour descendre en bas, pour les autres à de Casso. Et
Inmates were not
c'est cause que les autres pas écouter.
listening, following orders to go down in their cells. Even if they were talking to them, they were not listening.
At that point in time, I'm sure you know Officer Dacambra.
Oui?
Was he there at that time?
Peter, oh sorry, Peter. Surintendant Dacambra, il vient après lui. Il
Superintendent Dacambra
il
came
pas
later.
là avec Tim Poutro le commencement.
He was not there with the patrol team in the beginning.
But when you were having this discussion with Officer Mari, had Mr. Dacambra arrived at the prison?
Pour sa première rencontre, mon crois pas que nous pas rencontrer les essais une fois, soit deux trois reprises pour nous gagner feedback.
For
So,
the
mon crois première fois Peter non, il pas d'accord.
for the first meet, I don't think so. I don't think so that during the first meet, Mr. Dacambra had yet arrived.
Can I ask you that at this stage, would you confirm if all the inmates were inside the prison?
Il est difficile pour faire dit ça head count à cause de c'est pas payé, mais seulement il présumé garantir que la majorité des autres là presque tout là.
But for a head count because they had been spread out, and but I imagine that all of them was accounted for.
So they were inside the prison.
Inside, yeah.
Okay. Now, yesterday, when we spoke to the minister, in fact, one of his first directive in such an incident was to carry out a complete lockdown of the prison. That's what he said. Did Mrs. George not request that a lockdown of the prison was done and just wait?
Non, à cause Primo dit pour tout déjà là on the scene, so a lockdown veut dire the whole montagne posée.
No, the prison itself.
No, because the patrol was already there on the scene, so lockdown would be the whole of Montagne Posé. No,
Non, je ne pas rappeler la conversation.
I don't remember such a conversation.
So there was not a possibility of one of the measures that could have been taken to sort of alleviate this problem would have been a lockdown, as the minister said. This was not communicated at all.
Non, mon pas rappel.
No, I don't remember.
What would have been your advice in a situation where you have a prison guard taken hostage and the prisoners making demands? What would have been your advice at that stage?
Écoute votre demande. Écoute votre demande et voir s'il y a une demande qui est raisonnable, qui est faisable.
Listen to their demand and see whether or not it is a feasible demand.
And how would that engagement for hearing of their demands, how would this be done?
Bon, mon pas assuré, monsieur Ziza, cause mon pas connaît si le côté bandi mais c'est un du monde qui peut représenter qui doit faire sa conversation.
I'm not sure
So,
whether on the inmate side
Peut-être
there
comme
was
ça, si tu pouvais causer avec un warden, soit tu pouvais causer avec un représentant de la police.
there was someone on
This
their
moment.
side for the negotiation if they wanted to speak to a warden or a police officer.
Mais
So,
seulement,
okay.
ça y a une conversation qui nous passe avec bon commandant qui est on the field, et des fois pour engager sa conversation.
But
La
that
conversation.
is a conversation that we passed with the commanders that was on the field.
Okay. But was that demand put into practice?
Pour cause avec?
Yep.
To speak to them.
Nous disons cause avec eux, mais seulement still, il pas abouti.
We said to talk, to speak to them, but still it did not, there was no avail.
No, I want to be clear. I don't because you said you said your instruction was to talk to the prisoners. I want to know whether there actually was an engagement with the prisoners.
Oui, à cause c'est ça que les commandants nous disent autres, et c'est retourner dans l'autre instance qui nous joignent autres encore, tu fait sa conversation, mais pas bien comprendre.
That's what we said, and the other instance that we met and had that conversation whereby they stated that the inmates was not understanding and cooperating.
Did they make you aware on what procedures or what method did they use to engage with the prisoners or whoever was representing the prisoners? Did they make you aware of the methods they used before they came back to tell you that it couldn't be done?
C'est verbal, vocal, causé.
Verbally, to speak.
And did they tell you to whom they tried to speak?
Non, pas un en particulier, mais avec groupe, rassemblement.
Not
avec
one
bonne
in
prisonnier.
particular, but with the whole assembly of prisoners, the group.
What I would like to understand is something related but a bit different. So you as the officers who were overseeing the operation, what you said you gave an instruction to engage with the prisoners, right? So you gave an instruction to negotiate. So can you help us to understand with sufficient detail what this instruction entailed? What did you tell them to go and do?
Pour nous arrêter, faire finir ça des autres qui ont commencé.
For us to stop, to end the mess that had started.
So, nous retourne, tout le monde retourne dans autres casseaux.
For everyone to return to their cells.
Okay. So you instructed your officers to go and instruct the
To talk to-
prisoners
Talk to the
or talk to them to return to their cells. Okay. What else?
Pour arrêter aller venir, arrêter des ordres, retourne dans le castle.
Stop going on. Stop
Fairly
coming
good,
and
fairly
going
good,
to stop causing a mess and to go back to their cells.
Okay. And would that be all?
Yes.
Okay.
And who did you appoint or who did you tell to go and negotiate or engage with the inmates?
ASP Marie, à cause de lui, déjà on the field.
SP Maui, because he was already on the field over there.
And then he reported back to you. You said that his information was that the engagement was not possible.
Papier abouti.
Yes,
Okay.
there was no avail.
At that point, Mr. Dacambra had still not arrived.
Il possibilité d'arriver à ce moment, à sa instance, deuxième instance, oui.
It's possible that he
Cause,
had
il est possibilité, oui, il can arriver.
arrived at that moment in the second instance. Yes, there is a possibility that he had arrived.
Supposing that there were some officers, we're not talking police officers, we're talking about prison guards, okay, wanting to engage with the inmates, would you have permitted that, or would you have
Ah oui, bien
told
sûr.
them not to do it?
Non, bien sûr.
No,
Bien
of
sûr.
course
Tu
not.
peux bien.
It would
Tu
have
peux
been
bien
good
si tu es capable de faire, oui.
if they could have
Certainement.
done it. Yes.
Were you ever informed by Mrs. George whether any guards had made that request that they engage with the prisoners?
Pas mal, hein? Pas mal,
I don't remember.
Okay.
I have a question on the instructions that you gave to Mr. Mari. So, you said you instructed him to go and engage with the prisoners so that they go back to their cells, to their individual cells. And then I asked if that is all, and then you said yes. I'm just wondering whether, because it's an engagement, so an engagement is two-way,
Oui.
right? So did you also seek to establish at that point what the requests or the demands from the inmates was?
Non.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
And what is the rule of engagement in such circumstance? Like for the process of negotiation, what do you recommend is done? How should that process be carried out?
Well, mon quoi, il devrait être laisser des trois à 10, des trois laisser pour causer,
I think
pour
that there
comprendre,
should be one or
pour
two
guetter s'il y en
tries
a response.
to attempt for us to see if there are any response attempt to talk.
But, Mr. Soga, what I wanted to ask you, were you at any time informed by CP George
Yeah.
that the inmates had requested to talk to her, made a request to talk to her, and that she refused to talk to them? Did she mention this to you?
Non, pas si, oui.
No,
Non,
I'm not sure.
non, non.
No.
Would you
Sorry,
think it,
Sorry, the answer is, I don't think the answer is
He
correct.
said
if
no,
the
I'm not
interpret-
sure, and then no.
No.
So is the answer no,
No.
or
No.
you're not sure? No.
No.
Okay.
so? Do you think probably if she had engaged with the inmates, the problem would have ended.
C'est une possibilité. Ça y est,
There-
possibilité.
There was a possibility.
Did you try to engage with her and ask her, CP, this is your prison, you know your people, why don't you talk to them?
Non, mon pas rappelé nous faire cette conversation avec lui.
No, I do not remember having that conversation with her.
Did Mr. Olada, Mr. Dacambra, when he arrived at the prison, come up to you or the officers who were in charge, tell you that there is need for engagement with the prisoners?
Engagement façon par une causer.
Yeah,
Engagement.
negotiation.
Yeah, go négocier.
Negotiate?
Non, mon pas rappelé le Peter faire une conversation comme ça avec nous.
No, I don't remember Mr. Dacambra having a conversation like that with us.
Because Mr. Dacambra explained actually which, that's why I asked you what the rules of engagement should be for such a process. Mr. Dacambra informed us actually, first you need to have a loud hailer to talk to the prisoners. You need to have a banner to tell the prisoners that what you want to do is to engage with them. And your rules of engagement, the process that you adopted is dissimilar from what Mr. Dacambra said that he did. Actually, he said there was a loud hailer. The only thing he didn't have was a banner.
Non, mon pas rappelé que M. Dacambra fait une conversation pareille, mais seulement pareil, mon dit avant. Nous dit avec comment M. Marie pour engager, causer, négocier. Yes.
Remember Mr. Dacambra having a conversation like that, but we said to Mr. Mari to have to sort of negotiate.
Yeah. Okay.
Did Mr. Mari ever inform you if he had a conversation with Mr. Dacambra on this issue that Commissioner Vidot is raising?
Non, pas Mazine. Non, pas
No,
Mazine.
I don't remember, no.
Okay. So, was there any point in time where it was felt that there was a need for a roll call to check how many prisoners are still within the prison or anything of that nature?
Bon, quoi, ça c'est difficile, vu qu'ils ont participé, répondre
No,
souvent.
I want you to tell me whether there was a... don't tell me that...
Okay.
Yes, they were not responding.
Okay. I just asked whether at any point in time there was a demand or a requirement rather, for a roll call to be performed.
Non.
No.
And nobody ever suggested that.
Qui m'ont rappelé, c'est nous pas un roll call passé, mais seulement pour sort of faire le tour périméter pour voir s'il n'y a pas qu'un l'instance côté y en a un cassé, côté peut-être dimonim incapable sortir.
What I remember was not a roll call per se, but to circle around the perimeter to check whether or not there had been anyone who had broken off any part of the prison to attempt to escape.
Okay, but were you satisfied that nowhere had been broken and nobody had...
Oui, c'est ça que M. Gagné dit, il semblait intact.
Yes, that's
So
what
you
we
were-
were told,
Oui.
that it was
You were
intact.
happy with this?
Oui.
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Murray came back and told you that okay, engagement was not possible. So now you have to give him instructions, I'm sure, as to what would be the next step to be adopted.
OK, plus ou moins, vu qu'il est le ground et lui qui tactical person, so nous demandons.
More or
So
less,
couper, considérer qui manière nous go about.
since he was on the ground and more of a tactical person, we asked him, what do you suggest? How can we go about doing this?
And what was his response?
C'est nous capables c'est pour faire tout le monde descendre nous c'est en effet il paraît que tu déjà commencé à servir un peu non lethal.
Was that we can try to have some people come down or go down, and they were already using non-lethals.
Okay, so they were using non-lethal. They were. Am I right in saying that they were using grenades and they were using tear gas?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a quick one on that one. So when he suggested. Right.
Yes, he suggested because apparently he has already started using the
So
non-lethal
who
before.
exactly did he put this suggestion to?
To the team.
To the team.
To the team.
So the team discussed,
Yes.
and you were still chairing the discussions
Yes.
at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Officer Hollande had already joined the group,
À un moment où il est arrivé, oui.
and
At the moment in time, yes, he had arrived.
okay. Did he arrive before the military troops arrived at the prison or after?
Non, il est venu ensemble avec un peu soldat.
No, he
Si je ne me
came
trompe.
together with some soldiers.
Certains soldats.
If I'm not mistaken, there were some soldiers.
Hollande.
Yeah. So the military came along with Mr. Hollande, not before, no.
Oui, il est venu avec des trois. Quand il est arrivé, c'est des trois hommes avec lui.
Okay.
Yes, when he arrived, there was a couple of men with him.
What was to be the role of the military in such an operation?
En principe, support, fait un peu périmètre.
In principle, for
support.
support for the
Support.
perimeter.
Okay. Do you know who had made the request for the military to be present?
Franchement, monsieur, je dis non. Pas qu'on ait quelqu'un fait request.
Honestly, no, I do not know who made the request.
Okay. But since you were part of the team leading that operation, did you inquire as to who had requested the presence?
Non, mon parti demande avec mon parti demande les colonels, lesquels qui disent, mais souvent, mon rappel les conversations entre nous police demander qui m'a
I can't hear
qui
you.
m'a arrivé les quelqu'un autre.
No,
Who said
I
that?
did
Quelqu'un
not.
autre militaire.
Who said that?
Non,
Ask-
entre nous police, la police. Souvent,
Okay.
pas avec les pour demander,
Hmm.
personne demander quelqu'un.
Okay, please interpret.
No, I did not ask the lieutenant colonel, but I remember in a conversation we asked who was the one that
A
amongst
discussion
the
among
police officers.
Yeah. So if you had that conversation with other police officers, that means that you saw that this was a problem, having the military there. Because otherwise there would have
Oui.
been no need to have that conversation.
Oui.
Yes.
Okay. So, and did you, so after, okay, the military persons were there and Mr. Mari had gone back, he had suggested the next step of the operation, okay, and that next step was adopted by those present.
Yes.
Sorry, you said you had a conversation amongst the police officers on who. Yeah. So did you find out who?
Non.
No,
Pas qu'on est aussi.
they did not know that
So-
as well.
So they did not know. You did not know. Okay. Sorry, before I hand over to Commissioner Bidon, there's a chair, there's someone sitting on a chair there,
That's squeaking.
which is, I suspect it's
The officer?
officer. Sorry. I think the chair you are sitting on is making a lot of sounds. Thank you. Back to you.
Yeah. So once as you say, you've all adopted the next step. So Mr. Mari goes back. And when he goes back, who does he go back with? Who are the officers to assist him to carry out the next step of the operation?
So it's an also one zone déjà ou one zone patrol. Après possible sin vin des trois hommes QRT qui côté monsieur Dacambra est responsable. C'est ça on dit mon qui police officers ça qui.
He had his men from Portru already, and afterwards came a few men from QRT, which was the Dacambra team, police officers.
Okay. So these are were the officers who were to go deeper into the prison to try to arrest their situation.
Yes.
Yeah. And you yourself, you never went inside the prison?
No.
No.
Okay. You were just receiving information and then making decisions.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
At this stage,
Yes.
were there any joint effort given to this group of Mr. Dacambra's men and Potru by the military to enter the prison?
The police avec nous tout ça police response services Potru avec QRT ils ont déjà plus ou moins en dedans militaire ils sont supposés faire périmètre pour sécuriser un peu l'endroit. Right?
The different teams from the police response services QRT was already inside. The military was there for the perimeter.
Okay, but were the military, were they given specific instructions to man the perimeter?
Oui.
Yes.
They were.
Oui.
And this order was given to whom?
To lieutenant-colonel.
To Lieutenant
Because
Colonel.
Lee qui save someone
So-
militaire.
Because he
knew
was in charge of the
what
military.
role?
One minute.
Sorry.
He was in charge of the group of military.
So he knew what role the military was going to play in this operation.
Correct.
Correct.
Maybe before we forget that point, so you didn't know at that time who had requested for the army to be deployed, right? Did you ever inquire later on to find out who had requested?
Essayer de demander, oui.
We
Mon
tried to
pas
ask.
parce que aujourd'hui on peut connaître que c'est
Yes. Up until today, I still don't know who.
Okay, so I'm looking at the notes here from Colonel Michael Olada. Says the 17 troops who were deployed to guard the perimeter were requested by the Commissioner of Police. So did the Commissioner of Police, he never discussed this with you?
No.
Did you
No.
ask him who he had requested for the army?
non mon pas demandé seulement à cause mon chien en conversation avec lui mon chien informe lui qui militaire il arrive là.
No, I did not ask him, but I had conversations with him, and I told him that the military had come here.
And he also did not know who he had, or he didn't. What was
but
his?
it- Pas-
Request, he made a request.
I want him to.
Non, il pas de moi la réponse en termes lesquels qui amène faire militaire venir.
No, he did not give me an answer as to who had the military come here.
Okay.
But one question. Did you express the concerns that you had, like you told me before, or you told us before, that you even had a murmuring amongst your officers saying, who called the military in? Because you didn't think that at that point in time it was necessary for the military to come in?
Mon parti exprime, I mean, mon ti di li an mon panek di li mon conseil né. Mon ti di commissionnaire yan militaire arrivé so mon di li. Mon conseil né à cause de présence là.
I told the commissioner that the military has arrived, but I did not tell her
Tell him.
tell him about their presence,
Yeah.
Concern.
On site.
concerning their presence.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
So I think I need to come back again. Did you ask the police commissioner on who had requested the military to be deployed?
Non, c'est mon parti.
He did not.
No.
Okay, no, that's fine.
you have a question.
Yeah, Mr. Sowa, what I want to ask you is, when was the first phone call you received from the Commissioner of Police?
En termes là, mon papa pas dire. Et en même temps, mon papa connaît si l'équipe call moi avant, soit moi qui call lui avant, à cause mon temps posé, mon combien il y a un problème
Regards
communication,
to the
right?
time, I would not be able to tell you, and I would not be able to also say if I was the one who called first or it was the other way around. And considering the signal there at Montagne Posée.
But roughly, how many times did you speak to the
The
Commissioner?
commissioner, une des fois pour nous causer client, 3, 4 fois, 5 fois, oui.
3, 4,
Later,
5
mon
times.
signal.
5, more than 5, 10?
Non, pas sa quantité, à cause
No, not that much,
dans un moment où pas gagné signal.
because
So,
there are moments
à peu
where,
près 5 comme ça.
where you do not get any network, so about 5 times.
Okay, now I want to just ask you, you were carrying out you were in charge of the operation together with other people inside an office which has got a telephone, a fixed telephone line. Yes? Were you not taking into account, as you just said, with the telephone difficulties, were you not making use of this fixed telephone service that you had up there?
Non, mon plus ou moins servi mon téléphone, mon mobile,
No,
pour
I more or
entrer en
less
contact
used
avec commissionnaire.
my
Et mon-
mobile phone for me to be able to get in touch with the commissioner.
And all your calls that you made, was it on WhatsApp?
Il y en a qui m'ont fait WhatsApp à cause il paraît WhatsApp qui allait un petit peu plus bien.
There
Yeah,
were WhatsApp calls
oui.
because it would seem that WhatsApp went
Call,
through
yeah.
better than normal call.
Okay. And you said that you had concerns and you talked to the commissioner. Did you express these concerns to him?
Non, il
No.
m'a dit li militaire vini so mon kan exprime concern.
I just told him the military came, but I did not express any concern.
Are you so fearful of the commissioner that you can't even express that? One minute. That you can't even express that you have concerns? I mean, that was important because.
Non, monsieur, c'est pas seulement, c'est pas concern, c'est pas la frayeur pour mon commissionnaire, non. Mais peut-être militaire vient là, militaire, ça et moi, lequel mon qui pour présent dit militaire pas devrait être là. On
It's
ne saura pas,
not concern or fee for the commissioner. It's just the fact that the military has arrived here, and who am I to, question that?
Yeah, but you, the deputy commissioner of police, you can even ask. I mean, why be fearful of people? You are in a position of authority.
D'accord.
I agree with you,
Seulement,
but
But the gesture, if I read your body language well, is that as if you are apprehensive about some people or there could be repercussions if you had expressed your opinion about that.
Ou pas jamais connaît.
You never know.
So there could be.
Peut-être.
Maybe.
So did you assess that and you say, oh, maybe there could be repercussions against me. I better keep my mouth shut.
Oui.
Yes.
Was that the way you felt at that time?
Avec présence militaire là, oui, définitivement pas capable de faire autrement.
With
Et
the
j'ai
presence
accepté. J'ai
of
accepté.
the military here, yes. You could not do otherwise. You have to accept.
Are you feeling the same now?
Là, moi, civilien, on est plus un police officer.
Now I am a civilian. I am no longer a police officer.
Yeah, but that's why I've asked you. Are you feeling it now that you are no longer a police officer and you have all the ability to say whatever you want?
Non, pas nécessairement du tout que ça, mais seulement avec respect. Ça qui en a pour dire. Ouais, ce qui en a pour dire avec respect.
Not
Pas
necessarily
du tout quelque chose.
everything, but what I have to say, not everything.
What do you mean by not saying everything?
Non, mais dans la vie, ça est mon principe. Pas tout quelque chose qui a besoin de dire, non? Le temps est nécessaire pour dire. Pour dire.
In life, that is my principle. It's not everything. You are not required to say everything. It's when there's a need for you to say something that you say.
So it isn't necessary, if we're asking you a question now, it's necessary for you to tell us. You cannot hide behind the shield that not everything should be told.
Mon pas nécessaire. Sorry.
What I'm telling you is that you are here before us now.
Oui.
If you have questions for you, irrespective of whether you feel it is necessary to vocalize these answers or not, you are before us. You need to, whatever you feel.
Non, correct, mon comprends ça.
Correct, I understand that, yes.
Pas venir cause ça, non.
I did not come here to lie.
Mr. So, I just want to ask you, yeah? During the whole process, during all the operation,
Yeah.
from the minute you got up there, to whom were you reporting? To whom were you reporting as the person leading the operation?
Commissionnaire, la police.
Commissioner of Police.
So you were reporting to him.
Oui.
Yes.
And you reported on several occasions you did talk to him.
Oui.
Yes.
Was he the person who gave you the responsibility of taking the lead role in this operation?
Non, la pas un moment qui m'a dit ou en saz. Bah, les faits qui m'ont dit plus senior, moi là, il vient comme ça.
No, there was not a moment where I was told that I am in charge since I was the most senior, anything like that.
But did you understand that there was a commissioner of prisons given the job by the president of the country to run the prison and deal with all, any situations that comes her way?
Oui, mon quoi, oui, c'est un pointé.
Yes, I am aware that
Oui, pour
Yes.
run prison.
But
Oui.
do you
She was
do you
appointed.
feel? Oh, sorry. Do you feel that she had no capabilities of dealing with this incident?
Oui, mon quoi, il pas nécessairement capable de faire ça, donc les dossiers.
yes, I think that she could not necessarily do that on her own.
Okay. Just going back to not expressing your concerns okay, of the military's presence on site that day. Your failure to express your concerns resulted in very serious, chaotic situation happening at the prison. Don't you think it was necessary? Because you had concerns. And that contributed towards a situation where people lost lives. People were injured. So, don't you think there was, that you failed? Because you failed to express your concerns.
L'effet qui militaire il arrive là, ça est mon opinion. L'effet qui il arrive là, il gagne envoyé là, mon concerne peut-être pas pour sens grand quelque chose, pas pour gagner tiré. On pas nécessairement quoi d'autre pour gagner tiré.
The fact that the military has arrived there where it was, I do not think that my concern would have been able to remove them in any way.
Mr. Songwa, had you expressed your concern, maybe, just maybe, and it's possible as well,
Yes, possible.
that today the minister would not have come here, the ex-minister would not have come here and say, Mr. Songwa is the one accountable for what happened. Don't you think so?
Encore une fois, je dire à M. Gilles, je ne pas croire pour sortir, hein. Même mon procès, moi assuré là.
One more time, I will say, I do not believe that they would have gone out. I am sure on that.
So if you had concerns, that means you expected a situation that could be very bad. Okay, that would have been the end result of the military being present. So if you fail, even if they didn't hear you, at least you needed to express that, because today you will not be in that situation where the minister has expressed that you are responsible.
And yet I was not the one to call in the military.
I think what Commissioner Vidot has just put to you is today you would have a lifeline to support you in the decision or what you had said, that you did not think or you felt that it was not necessary for those people to be at this site. Yeah? Yeah, but I just want to ask you a question. With in such a volatile situation at that time in the prison, do you think it was still a wise decision to enter the prison with arms and ammunition in order to be able to gain control?
Dépend qui quoi qualité des armes pour entrer avec, mais
No,
Depends on the type of depends on the type of firearms that you enter inside with.
you, as a police officer, senior police officer, you know, when we're talking about weapons, you know exactly what type of weapons we are talking about. Yeah? But an inmate inside the prison at 11 o'clock at night, lights out, they do not understand what you are trying to explain now. Because they see danger with the introduction of arms, of weapons in the prison at that time. I think you would agree with me. And this would not pacify those people. Yeah? And one other question I wanted to just maybe ask you. Were you pushed to get this operation done on that day? Were you pushed to get this operation done?
Non.
No.
Mais en même temps, tu n'as pas, à cause vu que mon communication, tu n'as pas l'instruction, pas plié pour dire, on va arrêter. Arrêter. Oh, stand down, à cause mon magazine ou pour capable comprendre dans l'opération. Stand down, pour gagner l'ordre, mais pas jamais arrivé, pas jamais venu.
No,
Ça,
but
l'ordre.
at the same time, there was not any instructions from higher up ordering us to stand down, because I would imagine that you are aware that in operations, when there's an order to stand down, that's when we...
I do agree, I understand. But my problem is that nobody sitting in an office 17 kilometers away, yeah, would be able to give you any instructions. You are the person on site observing what is going on, and it is your prerogative and your decision to take relevant actions in order to try and get this operation as calm as possible. I'm not saying stand down, but what I'm trying to say is, were there not other means of keeping this operation as passive as possible without any further entry and bullet firing and whatever happened? Don't you think it could have been done?
Possible?
It's possible.
Did you try to put this to the people?
Oui, nous avons engagé en plusieurs reprises en termes de négociations causées.
We
Ouais.
engaged several instances in terms of
But
negotiations.
Nobody listened to you.
Ouais.
Yes.
Yeah?
But
Yes.
but the fact that having engagement, that was the first step.
Steps.
You're now at the second step. So you've exhausted that possibility. So if you find that there is another possibility of having a situation contained, then there was need to contemplate that situation.
Seulement en négociation, à la longue, nous continuons de temps à autre pour reprendre encore pour causer.
We kept
Could
on from
you-
time to try and speak again through the negotiations.
Mr. Sangwa, I think if you were told that was what was going on, I'm sure you are mistaken, because there were attempts maybe at the first step to have negotiations, but after that it was just let's penetrate the prison. Okay, now let's go rogue. So, why not attempt that? Forget about the negotiation, but there was a possibility to regroup and say, okay, there is another possibility of how we could deal with that. So, can we try to adopt that situation before aggravating it into something else?
Il y en a un moment pendant nos meetings, les temps communs de retourné, M. Dacambra, Vincent, si SFRF et si des à la cause de vini bonne de là. On nous fait quelque chose plus passif, on mentionné, si on nous servi de l'eau, faire autres retourner.
There was a moment during the meeting when the chiefs and the others had arrived, was there, and also the person from SFRSA also was there present, whereby we suggested to maybe let us use water to be able to get them to stop or calm down.
So just in a point of intervention, I think one thing that would be helpful for this commission is for you to be taking us through the key stages of the operation that you were overseeing, right? So perhaps let's take that approach. We had reached a point where I think the questions were about the negotiations has failed. So maybe when you are answering the questions, also try to do that with the objective of helping us to understand the operation, so that we can be in the same command room with you and feel and see and experience how the operation happened. Right? And I would also encourage that maybe when we are asking follow-up questions, let's ask questions that are related to that particular stage that is under discussion, so that we can get the whole story from you. So I think now we are at the stage where I think we left at the stage where the military had arrived.
Yeah.
Right. That's a key stage in the operation, of course. And you said you are not aware of who had requested the army to come in. I think let's pick it from there, so that we understand how the operation proceeded from there.
OK, militaire est arrivé.
The military has arrived.
So, lieutenant-colonel Hollanda joined nous in the room.
Lieutenant Colonel Hollanda joined us in the room.
So, nous discuté SP Marine vini, SP La Cambra. So,
We discussed the SP Maria arrived and the SP da Cambra.
militaire, notre rôle, c'était pour faire périmètre.
Military, their role was, as mentioned earlier, for the perimeter.
So, Potro avec QAT, maman qui est responsable par M. Dacambra, qui dans prison.
Potru and QRT, which was under the responsibility of da Cambra, was inside the prison.
So, par exemple, arrive le Samo, so que tu peux dire, OK, ban tactical commander qui sont on the ground, qui s'est qui n'a servi non lethal, pour faire autres descendre, en même temps, capable de refaire autres entrer dans le casseau, aussi, tu es dans Samo, so que pour voir sa garçon.
So, like I had reached that point earlier on, there was the tactical officer on ground who suggested we use non-lethal and that we get them to go down in the cell. And there was that young man.
Yeah, qui l'autorité prison, qui dit nous qui lit, il garde la clé, casso M. Modo.
That the authority over there at the prison informed us that he was guarding the key to the cell of Mr. Modo, which I mentioned earlier.
Pour nous capables sécure aussi ça, pour voir vraiment s'il y a un contraband. Et l'information, c'est qu'il y a beaucoup de contraband dans ça, en casso.
It was for us to see if we would be able to secure him for us to gain access to the cell, because according to information received, there was quite a number of contraband inside.
Before you go to the next stage, you said because you wanted to seize the key because of possibility or that there were a lot of contraband. Do you need an operation in the middle of the night, okay, just to go and look for contraband?
Non, ça tient, bout qui vient avec, monsieur.
No, I'm asking
So
you.
that was a part of the operation.
Do you think that an operation of that magnitude, you needed, you suspected or you knew there were contrabands in the prison? Okay. Do you think that at this stage that was a preoccupation? That is something that could have been done the next day whenever the prison was more secure.
Yes. D'accord? D'accord, mais c'est une possibilité peut-être si vraiment ti en la clé qui prison Sinji nous avec ça at least pour secure ça la clé.
Yes, I agree, but the possibility that there was really that key to secure that with that individual, as the prison informed us.
Can I ask you, Mr. Sogwa, did they explain to you what sort of cell that this Stephen Modo you're talking about?
Oui.
Did they explain to you what sort of cell he has? He was occupying. Did they tell you what sort of cell he was occupying?
Non, pas vraiment.
No, not really.
You did not try to ask them?
Are you talking about the location?
No, the cell inside where he was living. Did you not ask them
Non.
about the key
No.
and the cell?
Non, qui est autre dit dans sa garçon qui
Yeah.
avec.
Key, they
But
said
did
it was with that young man.
But did they not tell you what sort of a cell he lived in?
Non.
Can I tell you now?
Oui, moi j'apprécie.
He lives in a wide cell where there are 30 other inmates with him, and there's one gate that leads to the cell.
Mais pas ça l'impression qu'il nous gagne, nous avons l'impression c'est dans comme si on a dit un casso secludé, de soit un casso qui il
No.
fait ça son lui-même comme si il fermait à clé, si par là il a fermé à clé et ça
That's not the impression that we got. We got the impression that it was a secluded cell or a cell on its own that is locked when he is not present.
And what or who gave you that impression?
CP.
Just to clarify, impression can mean your own interpretation. So, do you mean this is what you were told?
Oui, dans casso Modon, right? The
Yes,
casso
in the
Modon.
cell
Son
of
casso
Modon.
il fermé à clé.
Okay.
That is
So-
locked on.
So it's not
under
an
key.
impression. This is the information you were given. Okay.
So, if that is the information that you were given, that means you were being fed with wrong information.
Il me semblait. Si ça qui est commissionnaire, il dit, il est. Je suis sûr.
So carry on with the other stages of the operation.
So maybe before we move to the next stage, I'm not quite sure if you answered the question that Commissioner Vidot asked you about. You are in the middle of an operation which we are made to
Yeah, I did
believe
answer.
was a threat
I
to
answered.
national security.
I answered.
And the reason you are, and I just want you to confirm whether we heard you correctly. The reason you are storming, you are instructing the police officers to storm into the prison is to go and confiscate a key or a lock so that you can access Mr. Stephen Modo's cell so that you can take the contraband from them.
Parmi. Parmi. Ça, les autres bouts pour faire. Regagner l'ordre et remettre prisonniers dans d'autres cas.
Amongst the other list, to establish order and to put back the prisoners in their cells.
Yeah, that didn't come out clearly. That you are now saying there were other reasons to establish order. So can you explain for us to understand better? If you say to establish order, it means there must have been some disorder. So describe to us the nature of the disorder that you needed to address.
Non, puis le
and which,
commencement des
sorry,
sorry.
that you needed to address and which could only be addressed by storming into the prison at that time.
Depuis pareil le commencement des temps nous vini qui ça briefing sur gagner qui prisonnier type behave de façon riot
Since the beginning, when we came, the briefing that we got that the prisoners was behaving in a manner that there was the riot.
alors sa situation pas Pourquoi il pas contrôle ça?
So that situation was not yet put under control.
Yeah. I still don't understand. Of course, we have heard from other people, but we want your version as the person overseeing the operation at this particular point. So when you say there was a riot, what were the prisoners doing at that time? What were you told that they were engaged in? Because I want to understand, because I want to be in your shoes,
Oui.
and understand why it would be necessary to storm into the prison at that time. So what were you told were the actions and the behaviors?
Oui,
of the
ça.
inmates, yeah.
Par exemple, par les temps de Chivini, sa première conversation, c'était prisonnier qui commence à faire des ordres, médifé, prend otage un warden.
For example, the first conversation when we arrived was that the prisoners was causing a mess. They had set fire and taken hostage of a warden.
Et,
Yeah, but let's just deal with that one because we're moving in stages.
ok.
At this particular point, were there still hostages held?
Non, les, puis, au stage, in Gailagay, c'était un moment, oui, certainement.
No, the hostage was released at a certain point.
So at
certainly.
the stage that we are at now,
Oui,
there are no hostages.
yes,
Right. So that can't be the reason for storming into the prison.
yes.
So let's remove that one. What is the disorder that you wanted to?
La présent, ça qui nous a dit avec mon commandant qui est underground, so c'est tout mon prisonnier, il n'y a personne qui dans une celle en particulier. Et les autres pays crasent tout quelque chose, les autres besoin, oui, faire les autres retournent dans une celle.
Now, what we were being told from the commander who was on the ground, that all of the prisoners were no longer in their cells and that they were breaking everything, that we needed to make them go back to their cells.
So they were breaking everything, meaning what were they breaking?
Ça qui y en a de cas, soit cause apparemment d'envoyer tout bon quelque chose avec mon garde.
Whatever
So,
that
ça
there
qui-
was
Okay.
in the cells, because apparently they had thrown everything at the officers.
Okay. But when you say they were not in their cells,
No.
eh, when we went to the prison, we observed that the male block is like a section, and then there are cells inside. So when they are not in their individual cells, they are still in the block. Correct? Is that correct?
Non, mon pas pour connaître, pas nécessairement qu'on layout prison.
No, I would not know because I do not necessarily know the layout of the prison.
Sorry, just one
Yeah,
minute.
sure.
You mean you are conducting an operation and having no knowledge of the layout of the prison?
Non, mon pas nécessairement qu'on layout sa prison, moi.
No, I do not necessarily know the layout of the prison.
Mais seulement, par encore, par exemple, des appels dit auparavant, so nous prenons l'information comme dit qui on the ground.
But like I was saying earlier, I was taking the information from people who was on the ground.
And you didn't request for. I'm trying to understand when you do these operations, you would have a written diagrammatic plan of what the prison looked like, isn't it? I understand you said you didn't have, but
Non.
wouldn't that have been necessary for you to have it?
En effet, dans mais ça qui monde comprend, c'est son plan, il pas available les prisons.
In fact-
the plan, son blueprint prison, and available.
From what I understood, the blueprint of the prison was not available.
So did you
Yes.
request for it?
À ce moment, non.
At
Mais
that
seulement,
moment, no.
Okay,
mon
so you,
gars comprend qui pan prison tu n'as pas. Prison tu n'as pas sa blueprint
But I understood that the prison had none.
at that time.
that it
At
didn't
that
have a
time.
blueprint.
They did not
Okay.
have.
Because I'm asking you these questions because we are testing the necessity
Yeah.
of storming the prison at that time. whether it was necessary to storm the prison at that time. And the reason you are giving that the prisoners were not in
Yeah,
their
but the
cells.
storming has already begun earlier, right? When Potro came. Potro was already, like I said, when I arrived. Potro,
Potru was already there and had already entered inside.
Yeah, we took that point, but we are at a stage where you said the negotiations have failed, and the assistant inspector Mari then said to you, he suggests that we storm, we enter, we force our way in, right? So we are trying to test the necessity of that decision. That's what we are trying to do now. And it would only be necessary if you can share with us a reason that convinces us that at that particular point it was necessary for you to authorize the suggestion that Inspector Mari made. So I'm saying the layout of the prison, because you keep saying the prisoners were everywhere. And I fear that it may create an impression that they had broken out, right? But they were not, because the male block itself is, we have no evidence that anyone forced their way out of that section. They were not in their individual cells, but they were inside, right? So that reason that they were out of their cells doesn't seem to be a convincing reason for you at that point to say we must urgently storm in. So let's talk about you said the other conduct that you were worried about is that they were breaking things inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any, because I don't want us to dwell too much on it. Is there any other reason? If none, you can say there's none.
No.
Okay, so right now you want to get inside the prison because they are breaking.
To get retourn dans autres caso et
To return them to
retourn
their cell.
l'ordre et retourn ban détenu dans autres ban prisonnier ou ban convict dans autres caso.
And to establish order and to return the detainees and convicts in their cells.
Okay.
But you also say that one of the options that you explored was to use water. Why was that not done?
Oui, nous fait.
Yes, we did.
Oui, servir de l'eau at least water cannon. Oui, nous fait essayer.
We used the water cannon, yes, we tried.
So, how was this done? How did you use water cannon?
Comment on dit ça? Et donc, bonne machine SFRF là, qui est une des avenues bonnet, so il chocolat.
There was a fire truck who had
Servir.
come earlier and was already there, so we used that.
But actually, Mr. Takambra said that was a suggestion also that he put forward, but he even asked the the chief fire officer present on that day whether the fire truck could be moved down next to the prison, and he said that was not possible, so they could not adopt that possibility.
Non, mais nous ci servi sa machine ça de l'eau. Si on fait ça, oui, député CFO qui est là. Si on fait ça, on va connaître si on fait tout cela avec CFO, mais seulement à cause c'est un officier qui travaille en prison qui est ex-fireman. En effet, un fireman doit pas nécessairement. So c'est ça officier qui servi ça tio.
No, I think they did it because I think the deputy CFO was there, and if he did it in the presence of the CFO, and I think that there's an officer that works at the prison that previously worked with the SFRC, and he, I think, was the one who helped.
But we understood that Mr. Nakambra was the person who took responsibility with this officer at the prison, as you said,
Yeah.
to put out the fire. Is that correct?
pas nécessairement à cause du fait Tibonnet, non? Du fait Tibonnet.
Not necessarily because the fire was earlier.
That was a question he asked. Was like Zifetibone, so it's a question. Was the fire earlier?
The fire
Was
was
that a
it
statement
earlier or
But you should know you are in charge of the operation, and then you are asking us question as to when was the fire on or when was it put out.
No.
I have a difficulty there. You don't understand, because if you are in charge of an operation, you should know. At least you cannot ask a rhetorical question as to whether that was the case.
Non, mon dit, ok, c'est ma on répond, c'est qui servi ça de l'eau raccord from the tanker, hein, it's a fire tanker.
if I can take that again, was that we used the water from the hose that came from the fire truck.
Yeah, but my question was, did Mr. Dacambra helped? Because he said this was his own, his sole responsibility that he took on that night was to help this prison officer to put out the fire, and which he said they did put out the fire.
Okay. And then so to use that water
Whatever.
pipe also, yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But Mr. Dacambra was the one who did it with the officer.
With that officer
the
from
fire.
the fire, yeah.
And
Previously.
I think the major point here is that there was no fire raging inside the prison at the time that you were deciding to send in the officers.
I don't understand.
You don't understand.
Come again?
Okay, we are saying the fire has been put out. So the reason why you are sending in the police officers at this particular stage in the operation, it is not to put out the fire.
Not to use it as like sort of a water cannon
To achieve what?
to bring the detainee down
Out.
to the
Okay, so you wanted them to come out.
to come down.
Okay, to
So
come
that they-
down,
to the cell, yeah.
Okay.
So that they can be placed inside.
So that is another step that you took. Okay, trying to use explore the possibility of using water cannon. That you said failed. So what was next?
Then we bring the commanders in, so that fait façon d'une vie ronde pour explorer possibilité.
So they made a they sorted out that they were able to enter inside again for them to.
Non, ban commanders pour venir pour nous.
Further discussions.
Oui.
Okay. And name these commanders, please.
Sorry?
Just name again the commanders.
ASP Marie, SP Dacambra, mon pas possibilité inspecteur Agatine.
There's a possibility that Inspector Agachin also was on the field.
So you're telling us Officer Dacambra was one of the commanders, because he tend to state that he was just there, he just helped with the fire hose, trying to put out the fire.
No,
He had very little involvement.
No.
non pas correct. Il était involved à cause son l'équipe, il était là, il était aidé dans le travail.
He was involved because his team was there, he was working.
Okay, so you regrouped.
Yes.
Okay, you've left the prison again.
They've
They've left the prison
This
again.
commander.
The commanders are okay. You still have officers inside the prison,
Yes.
but you regrouped. You reassess the situation.
Oui.
Yes.
So now you have to take decisions. What decision do you take?
So, qui est arrivé là, c'est pour fait un dernier push. C'est on servi un peu gaz, un peu non-lethal pour nous faire les officiers, les prisonniers retournent en bas pour nous mettre dans la cell.
So what happened next was that we agreed for one last push, whereby we would use some gas and non-lethals to be able to get the prisoners down to their cells.
And that was a suggestion. Who made that suggestion, rather?
Commandeur qui est dehors à 3, qui nous à présent nous mettons la table nous discuter.
Commander who was outside,
On essayait.
and we laid things on the table to discuss to say, let us try.
So you approve that suggestion.
Ouais.
Yes.
Apart from you approving, who else approved that suggestion?
Team d'accord.
The whole team agreed.
Essayer ça dernier attempt.
For the last
Okay.
attempt.
So you have now another phase of the operation. So the officers go back again. What were you informed about what happened?
So, zotin là-bas, jusqu'à après un certain moment, les temps zotin rapporte que tout le monde prisonnier zotin capable ici faire descendre tout prisonnier,
They were there until a certain moment that they were able to.
mais zotin voir il y a un inmate qui mort.
They were able to get down all the prisoners, but at one point they had realized that one inmate had passed away.
Mr. Savoy, the picture you give us is as if very small operation where there are no casualties. Just one.
No. Okay,
So
so
they don't report to you. I mean, you must have heard gunshots.
oui, non-lethal il fait tapage, oui.
Yeah, you must have
Yes,
heard gunshots.
non-lethal causes
Yeah.
noise.
I don't
makes
know whether
noise.
you would have heard that grenades were being used.
Oui, il faut
It makes a noise.
so moi pas pour pas un firearms expert. Oui, mais il fait tapage.
Yes, I'm not
Yeah.
a firearms expert, but yes.
And they must have reported to you that it was a massacre in there. Did they report to you that they actually they were beating up the prisoners?
Non, non, pas tu rapporter, mais seulement par exemple on est mentionné. Oui, tu rapportes qu'il y a un injury, mais seulement personne pas tu rapporter qu'ils ont battu prisonnier, non.
No, yes, there were injury, but no one
Injury, oui.
reported that
C'est
they
dans l'ambulance, qui l'ambulance in
were beating prisoners. There were ambulances, yes.
And were the military together with the by that time
Yeah.
were the military or with the police officers inside the
Il ressemblait qu'ils prisonniers militaires, ils entraient dans même si supposé faire périmètre.
It seems that the prisoners had entered inside while they were doing the perimeter.
Well,
I think the interpretation is not clear. Can we take that again?
Oui, et militaires, ils entraient en dedans ensemble avec la police.
The military entered inside
Même si
together
ils
with the
supposé
police,
faire périmètre.
even if they were supposed to do the perimeter.
so when you were informed that the military had also participated in that segment of the operation, you have Lieutenant Colonel Holanda present. What do you tell him?
Mais ça, tu presque ban dernière instance ça,
This was towards the last instances.
Okay.
qui
Okay.
sorti.
This was in the last week. Okay, but eventually
Yes.
you knew about it.
Oui.
So
Oui.
what do you tell?
Ça, mon compte ça qui militaire il entré, ban dernière instance l'étape est fini.
That's not what I'm
Yes,
asking.
I knew that the military had entered towards the last instances when
So
it was
Kimon
You've explained
completing.
exactly. You know the
Ki-
question I've asked you. What did you tell him?
Qui moyen arrivé?
How did it
Supposé
happen?
faire périmètre.
We're supposed to
Yeah.
do the perimeter.
Qui moyen?
How?
And his response?
Il pas pour connaître à cause aussi il tient son senior officer qui check lui.
He would not
So-
know because he also had his senior officer who was with him.
Bonnet l'état moti dit l'état on fait une opération avec différentes organisations. Et là, il y a un problème de discipline qui est arrivé.
Earlier, I was
You see?
explaining that when you have joint operations with other entities, there's these sorts of difficulties that happens. You
So
see?
what you putting before us is that there was total lack of discipline by the forces.
Il discipline il tient rien à cause otherwise ou pas pour battre du monde pour moi ou pas pour shoot du monde discipline rien
Discipline is one, otherwise you would not have beaten someone up to the point that that person loses their life.
pour exécuter l'instruction et l'autre
Execution of instruction is another.
les besoin aussi synchroniser pour synchroniser ensemble faire des practice ensemble ou faire un exercice ensemble qui après les temps entrer dans situation ça il va peut-être flow normal
For
mais
you
c'est pas
to
tellement quelque
synchronize.
chose pour
For
I've got two small questions relating to this, yeah? You said that Mr. Olada, Lieutenant Colonel Olada, had his senior officer present there. Did you say this?
oui chana senior officer à part qu'il est
Who was his senior officer?
Mathieu
Oh, Mache is his junior officer.
non oui he's junior
His subordinate.
oui subordinate to okay. He's a senior guy as well.
Now, second question is, when, you know, at this stage you could have already had a way of looking what was going on. Yeah? Why didn't you, as the head of this operation, stop the operation there and then and call every officers to task now? What we are doing is not correct. You are not following orders. Come back. We reorganize, we replan, and then we start again. Why didn't you call all of them back?
Oui, mais ça, moi, au bout de l'information, là, c'est le presque la finition, là, qui nous comprend, qui militaire, ils entrent ensemble avec la police.
That part of the information came towards the end, whereby we understood that the military had entered together with the police.
But even before that, you said that you had information that the operation that somebody had been killed. So,
Non.
yes, you said that. You said that.
Oui, monsieur, voyez, à cause ça, qui nous gagne informé, qui est un dimoni mort, ça, l'état, man, prisonnier, qui fini descendre, prison, officiers, qui fait un dernier marché, fait les tours, les autres, viennent, tu rapportes ça.
I said that
Parti en
we
dernier, fini.
were informed towards the end when the prisoners had already gone down and the officers went around to do a final sweep. And that's when they found out that there had been someone that had
But
lost.
I
their
am
life.
sure that even before you were informed of the death of inmate, you would have noticed that ambulances and people being brought to the ambulance, being carried away. So at that point in time, why did you not regroup your officers and the military officers and evaluate what happened?
En effet, l'état, mon rapport injuries, j'ai entré, nous chapez les autres pour venir.
In fact, when the
Et
report
les guys, arrêtez, no little whatsoever, not pas little.
when the reports of
Comment tu-
injuries
Call Monsignor, mon faire le courant.
came in, we called them, we told them to stop, and with the non-lethals, and that's when I called my superior also.
That was a bit too late to say. When you have injuries, you say no lethal now?
Non, mais mon dit ça des trois
Yeah.
reprises, monsieur juge.
But now you're having injuries. Sorry, you didn't. You didn't translate.
The which part, my lord?
Pardon?
Which part?
The first, because I asked him a question and then I talked over him. I asked him a different question.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you change it, monsieur?
Let's continue. It's fine.
Okay.
I think now I'm picking some of the crew.
I noticed that yesterday.
No, let's continue.
But Mr. Songa,
So I think you were asking a question that
No,
I was
he-
anticipating an answer from you.
Yeah.
He didn't answer that question.
Yeah. To do that with the fact that you had injuries. So you were seeing injuries coming out, even when the operation was still being carried out. Injuries were started to come out because there were still inmates being assaulted, aggressed in the prison. Did you not regroup and tell the officers? Anyway, there's no point at that time to say not lethal because they have been used, and to on the inmates. So you have to regroup and reassess.
Eh bien, à cause nous fait ça. Encore une fois, par mon djibonais, c'est qui m'a dit mon recevoir l'instruction, discipline qui vient avec et l'entraînement que vous faites. C'est
Right.
vous donner l'instruction, mais si ça dit mon on the ground, il pas suivre l'instruction, monsieur juge.
We did that, yes, but one more time I said that the instruction, when given, it goes along with discipline. So you might be giving instruction, but on ground, it's not followed.
So let's. This is all important, but let's get a sense of where are we at in the operation, because you said. The police tried to get into the prison. They failed. Then they went again, and this time you had instruction that they should not use. They should use non-lethal weapons, and they should use tear gas.
And
Right.
yeah,
Right. This is where you were at. Then I think things. Then you said, because he then asked you a question, were the military part of the operation by now? Then you said, no, they were there at the end, right? I'm still interested in understanding how this particular stage unfolded. And I think those are also the questions he's asking. So your troops or your police officers have now entered the prison. They are using the non-lethal that but they are using also other weapons, which I'm sure commissioners will ask you questions on. Tell us more about how that operation is going.
So, répondre encore.
So we are taking that
l'état-
again.
Monsieur Justin demande injuries, mon jili. L'instruction qu'il a donnée, mais le ground pas payer suivre l'instruction.
When the injuries happened, the instruction had been given, and that the people on the ground were not following instructions.
Again,
So you are saying, because I think now you are addressing another question, are you saying during this stage where the police have stormed into the prison the second time, but this time around using non-lethal weapons, there are injuries?
there were injuries, yeah.
Okay.
There was injuries, yes.
How did you see these injuries?
Rapport que nous avons gagné, c'est pas life threatening.
The report that we got
injuries.
was that it was not life-threatening because we had certain names of a few people who had sustained injuries.
Okay.
So,
Did you see ambulances? I think which was his
yes,
question
an
at this
ambulance.
stage.
Oui.
Yes, there was an ambulance.
Did you see the people who were being carried to the ambulances?
Oui, il y en a un en particulier qui m'a à le regarder, moi-même, comme tu vois, quantité bonne qui paraît 10 ans, right?
Yes,
So
there
much
was
I
one
could
in
not be la-
particular that
Mais,
Sorry.
went to check on myself because I saw what appeared to be like a lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
mais,
What appear to be blood?
mais il partit de gagner rien, ça garçon, which is Rahim, ou pas, il partit de gagner rien, mais il met la peinture à l'oli.
He had not sustained anything. That young man, Rahim, I think, there was paint on him.
Okay, so I just want to, what I'm trying to understand is when the ambulances were there, or how many ambulances were there?
Mon voix N, mon tu vois N.
One.
On pas connaît s'il y en a plus qui N.
I
So
saw one. I do not know if there
Okay.
was more than one.
So now this ambulance is there and persons are being carried to the ambulance. Did you get a sense that they were seriously injured, these people, or not?
Non, c'est ça mon tu réponds bonnet c'est qui rapport c'est qui il parti life threatening ou soit c'est ban injury c'est à ça moment.
No, I answered before. The report was that it was not life-threatening or serious injuries at that time.
Okay. Did you hear any explosions, gunshots?
Yes, also ça aussi mon tu réponds oui.
Yes, that
Man.
also I answered yes.
Ça non literally fait à part.
The non-lethal makes makes noise.
Okay. And what followed? Okay, you got a report that despite these explosions that you are hearing, and you assumed they are non-lethal weapons being used, and despite the ambulance that is there, you still got a report that says these injuries are not serious.
Oui, c'est ça qui commande from la rapporté, oui.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what the
Et
Okay.
commander
Okay.
recounted.
Yeah. Did you have another way of verifying whatever information you were getting from your commander?
the commander.
Yeah.
C'était non, à cause ces autres qui sont là-bas et l'autre façon c'est à travers l'hôpital.
No, because they were there, over there. The only other way would be through the hospital.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe you want to, Commissioner Tigan, you wanted to ask some questions on that stage.
No, carry on.
Okay. So maybe for me to have a bit of a complete picture on that stage in the operation. This particular stage we're talking about, had the soldiers, were the soldiers now involved inside the prison?
Si non, soldat qui gagne rapporté qui soldat il aussi en train de c'est ça dernier moment.
No, it was towards the last moment,
Okay, so
very last moment.
So they are at this stage. There are no soldiers inside the room.
Non, pas de rapporté qui
No, it had not been reported.
Avant finition.
That there was before the end.
Okay, I think what we need, the answer can be a bit unclear. Are you saying it was you were unaware, or because it was not reported to you, or are you saying you knew that at this particular stage in the operation, the soldiers were not assisting the police inside?
Non, pas de rapporté avant dernier moment qui soldat si d'entrée en dedans. So
No, it was not reported until the last moment.
Okay, no, we'll get
Yeah.
to the last moment. Let's move stage by
It's
stage.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go to the next stage of the operation.
So, we, anyway, avec comme monsieur Zizou, arrive, l'étant si gen rapporté qui dans sa monsieur sa inmate ou prisonnier qui mort, right?
We had reached
So-
where it was reported that there was the inmate that passed away.
So ça veut dire là ban si gen rapporté qui tout prisonnier tin descend en bas, les hôpitaux gen fermé dans Casso.
And it was
Ban
reported
ki ti
that
la.
all the prisoners had
Et
gone down.
les ban officiers fait un litrou qui ont ti voir sa inmates.
That they were going to be put in their
Yeah,
cells,
important.
and that's when the officers went and did the sweep where they found the inmate.
You mean the person who died?
Yes.
Okay.
Saint-Petit
So-
mort côte prison.
So that is at the end.
Yes.
Okay. But,
Sorry. You received the report that says one inmate has been killed or has died.
Is that yeah.
Right. This is at the stage when the troops are in. I mean, the police are in and using the so-called non-lethal weapons.
Police et militaire aussi ça ban à l'état.
Police with the
Kota.
military at that time.
Okay, so I think let's do it this way. Maybe. So after this stage where the police entered, and you had no report that the military was involved, there was another stage.
Oui, ça c'est man dernier avant qui tu gagne rapport la mort là.
Yes,
Qui ban
that
ban prisonnier tin descend.
Towards the end, before the death was reported that the prisoners had gone down.
Okay, so there was another stage after this now where the soldiers are involved.
Yeah, but oui, mais seulement autres patin gagne restriction pour autres engage pour autres à cause autres l'ouvrage perimeter.
Yes, but they had not yet received instruction for engaging
don't worry
because their
about
job
that.
was with regards to the
We
perimeter.
will ask you questions on that. Okay, maybe you can help me to understand. I just want to understand the stage at which this inmate was killed. What time was it? Maybe that can help.
À peu près 3 heures bon matin,
About 3 a.m.
ça l'étant ban prisonnier fini gagne rapporté une descend et les officiers à présent fait ban sweep par une servi à mot qui ont gagne rapporté qui
That time, the prisoners had already, it was reported that they had already gone down to their cells, and it was at that time that the officers went and did the sweep.
Okay.
I don't know whether there was a downplay of the situation, because you just say, "Oh, the prisoners had gone down." Okay. Your informant didn't tell you that the prisoners had been beaten very badly, by the police and the military.
battre monsieur dit non seulement par exemple tu dis mon dit ça bonnet injuries oui il en a injury mais seulement pour dire prisonnier il gagne battre non ça parce qu'il gagne rapporté
Beaten, no,
seulement il en a injury
but
oui.
there were injuries. Yes,
But later you did find out that the prisoners had been badly beaten.
Yeah, oui
yes.
Okay. So the final stage would be when you are you had the report of the death of Mr.
Jerry
Jerry.
Jerry oui
Jerry Matchwood.
oh yeah oui
That was the final stage.
oui
Yeah.
Maybe before we get there, maybe this is how you can help me to understand this. So you said after failing to get it to storm into the prison, you regrouped and decided that they would push again, but this time around they should use tear gas and non-lethal weapons, right? What time was that?
un peu tard, mais sûrement un peu bonnet, tu déjà quand il servi certains non-lethal.
A bit late, but earlier,
Maybe the second phase, something like that.
Yeah,
earlier probably during the second phase, non-lethal was used.
I want the time. What time was this stage? Because this is another way of us trying to understand. Because I think we are whitewashing something there.
Peut-être dans 10 heures en montant.
Maybe at around 10 p.m. onwards.
Okay, so around 10 p.m. Okay, now they are inside using non-lethal weapons around 10 p.m. right, and they succeeded to get the prisoners down, right. How long did this operation last?
Ben à peu près des 3 heures, hein?
About 2 to 3 hours.
Des 3 heures.
So that would
Some hours,
be
yeah.
12 midnight to 1 a.m.
Yeah, à peu près.
Approximately.
Okay. Then now, it is around 12 midnight. That's when you are receiving the report that there is an inmate who has been killed. Is that correct?
Non, peut-être à ce timing qui est pay off, mais ça imite ce qu'il rapporté, encore une fois, le bon dernier il est presque fini.
Now maybe the timing is off, but the inmate
rapporté.
was reported towards the end when it was completing. Everything was completing.
Which is around what time?
À peu près 3 heures bon matin.
At around 3 a.m.
Okay, 3 a.m. Now, can you help me to understand what was happening between 12 midnight and 3 a.m.? Because I have a record of what's happening between 10 p.m. and 12 midnight. So I now want to understand what happened between 12 and 3 a.m.
Oui, nous prenons un peu problème avec l'air qui peut-être ban l'air un peu off par mon Dieu.
Have a few issues with regards to the times. Some of the time might be off, like I was explaining.
Yeah, possible l'état tient plus court ou soit à cause pour faire un mental chose avec l'air. Mais sa dernière push, c'est que nous maman est resté engagé pour faire un prisonnier retourner dans notre cas.
It's possible that the time period could be shorter, but just because for things to, as I'm trying to remember things in my mind, but towards the last push, the officers stayed engaged.
Sorry, before we go to the last push, we might try to help you see if you can remember.
Okay.
What accounts for this? Because it's a long period of time, from 12 midnight to 3 a.m. Could it be, is there a possibility that the operation you are saying took place from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight actually took place from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m.?
At one go, hein? Non è possibile capable in a break in between.
There's a possibility that there could have been a break in between.
Okay. If there was a break in between, you would have been speaking to your commanders during the break, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you would have been making decisions. Did that happen? Were they breaks?
Oui, certainement, les temps où ils viennent pour apporter, qui nous prend décision. Moi, en même temps, mon call, mon safe, pour moi, briefly, qui situation peut arriver.
Yes, certainly when they came to report, we would have made decisions and I would have called my superior to inform of what was happening.
Okay. So you are confirming that you had breaks and you, what did they inform you?
J'étais capable faire un dernier essai pour faire prisonnier retourne en bas de casso.
That they can make a last attempt to get the prisoners down in the cells.
Okay. and you gave them a go-ahead to continue.
Correct.
All right. So this is why I am saying the operation that you are saying started at 10 p.m. and ended at 12 midnight actually took place from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. with little breaks where you are being told that we are still pushing, and the next time you have a significant break is at 3 a.m. when you are told that there is an inmate who has been killed.
Oh.
Now, the evidence that we have is that, and which I think aligns with this idea that the operation was from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m., was that this is where most of the brutality took place. This is when the torturing of prisoners was taking place. This is when the beating of prisoners was taking place. And this is when some of the prisoners who were badly injured were carried to the ambulance. And I'm just wondering if you would still insist that you did not see that.
Non, Monji qui rapport. Chana rapport injury. Monji chana rapport injury.
I said that there was reports of injuries,
Oui. Et nous chana c'est ban non aussi qui tigaï G.
and we had names of the ones injured.
Seriously injured.
No seriously injured no mo patigaï. So ma injury gravité mo patikone no.
Seriously injured, no, but that there was injuries, not about the gravity of the injuries.
But it is interesting. I mean, I think commissioners can correct me if I'm misinterpreting the evidence we got. But some of the prisoners, including Mr. Shaban, and when was Stephen? When was it not Stephen Modo? Mr. Subramanyo. Mr. Subramanyo was taken to the ambulance around this time that we are talking about. So are you saying, and clearly he was badly injured, right? We saw Mr. Shabani and others. They were, even up to now, they are still, in a way, immobile. Or have mobility challenges. They are not immobile. They have mobility challenges. So they were badly injured. They were transported to the ambulance at this time, or during this window that we are talking about. So will you still say you did not see them?
No, it was much on down. More dans la room de côte administration.
I was inside in the room in the administrative block.
Okay.
So rapport qui vini wiki nana injury.
Reports.
Autres par exemple disent moi c'est un moment quand moi une sortie dehors qui motive voir ça c'est un homme avec banose les mêmes motifs à la pose pour me voir.
Came that there was injuries, but at one point, like I stated, I went outside, and that's when I saw that young man with the paint that I thought it was blood.
I will tell you what is probably a difficulty here is to believe that people who are managing an operation are unable to see that badly injured people, and probably with a lot of crying and chaos happening, are being taken from the prison to the ambulance, and you don't see this, you're not aware of this. But we accept that that's your evidence that you didn't see this, you didn't.
Moi je me pas voir à cause nous sommes dans l'office mais seulement il gagne rapporté oui il a un rapport injuries.
I did not see, but yes, there was reports of injuries.
Ça mon dit.
And the
I
injuries.
said-
Okay, I get that point that you said the report was saying these injuries are not serious. Okay, so I think that helps me to understand that the gap that was there between 12 midnight and 3 a.m. Maybe we can take a break a short break, and then we now need to you to take us through 3 a.m. going forward. After the break, let's take a 5-minute break, or maybe 7-minute break. We come back at 5:25.